hard time shooting accurately. And the Mi-24s have been forced to retreat, although they've done their job. They've also even routed one of the Gazelles. Elsewhere, T-62s are being brought in to solve the problem, but there's an Abrams there. And my ally has brought in a force of 12 BTRs. Let's see what they're going to do. So both my guys have had their targeting system hit, but the Tunguska is still here. Still, these artillery in the middle of the woods don't actually know what they're doing, but there you go. This supply truck has stopped short of where it needs to supply. I mean, these guys could definitely do with some supplying. These guys probably just best leave them there. So here come lots of AA infantry. That's probably a good buy at this point. Looks like a bit too much really, but there you go. So here come the gunships. Fortunately, the Askaras have a PKT machine gun, and these guys, for some reason, have been charged in without any rockets. But, you know, their job's been done. You know where the artillery is. Elsewhere, this command vehicle's still here. I've pulled my guys back because, you know, they're critical on napalm rockets, critical on Conqueror's rockets or missiles. Yeah. So I decide it's now best to defend. So I brought my Tunguska up, so it's got an FOB to supply with and some slightly vetted Conqueror's infantry. These guys should do a fair job. Elsewhere here, the Lynx tank destroyer is brought in. Unfortunately, it only has an F1 cannon, and even with the artillery, the Tunguska manages to escape. Elsewhere, some more gunships they're now being retreated, probably to rearm and resupply and repair. All that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, the Tunguska is still here, and now it's calm, it's got its missiles, it's got a lot of supplies. It's going to be painful for them. So there's one down. There's two down. And can we make it a third? Yes, we can. Elsewhere, the Fago infantry are now out of rockets, and the ones that have rockets seem to be on the move, so they can't fire them anyway, and they're being rushed straight into an Abrams instead of retreating to the forests. Artillery's trying to salvage the situation, but I think we all know how this is going to end. Elsewhere, a whole swarm of Leopard 1A1s, supply trucks, are being brought in down the highway, probably to attack hotel. Golf's now completely out of it. And the Fusiliers are firing on whatever shattered remnants of the Fago infantry remain. And they are out of here. So, now, what do we have? We have, oh, the supply truck's finally got the T-62s. It supplied the wrong thing, but they're there at least. My command vehicle's now completely pinned down. It's useless. This command vehicle up here has been useless since the start of the game. These guys can't really do much, and I retreat my Tunguska using the side highways back to hotel. Now, here's the thing, okay? If you don't micromanage your helicopters, they sometimes do this, where they fly as low to the ground as they can, which is, you know, good if you want to keep them hidden, but it's bad because this Mi-9 can actually not see this Jupiter. It can't see any of this. If it was, you should always use the change altitude command or park your helicopters on top of a tree, because when you do that, they always fly at their highest possible altitude. Also, is really bad for gunships because it kills their line of sight. Don't know why Eugen did this, but they did, so there you go. Now the T-62s are engaging some Gazelles, or trying to at least. They can't actually do anything about it. So, finally, too little too late, I spot this swarm of Leopard 1A1s. So I bring in my Mi-24s. Fortunately, the Leopards actually don't have, all they have is a cannon, so they're powerless to fight off the Mi-24s, but unfortunately they got some mortars in there. Elsewhere, Conqueror's infantry are firing at pretty close quarters, even using their frag grenades, it looks like. Also capture one of their supply trucks. Tunguska's even having to resort to autocannon fire. Takes a... nope, that was a close miss. Gazelle cannon's also being brought in. Unfortunately, Hill Line and the fact that Tunguska is busy, it can't shoot at it. Gazelle's free to engage the MI9. Fortunately, it all seems to be going well. All their units are routing, and the Conquerors have got an extra level of experience for it, and they're going to use that in nailing a missile into the rear flanks of every single Leopard. Tunguska's done a good job of routing them. I've lost one Mi-24, and it ran out of ammo amazingly quickly. And then I move it to try and take out the Gazelle. Fortunately, the Gazelle flies straight into the helicopters. There we go. Elsewhere, I've got a Kiowa recon helicopter with a minigun. Unfortunately, it's running low on fuel, so I'm not sure what I can do here. It's probably going to have to land soon. I moved my BTR up because in the initial attack, the Leopards captured this FOB, so I decided to keep the, to keep the BTR stays here. Hopefully, they won't prioritize it. They don't get the supplies. They don't get it. They don't. It's a disadvantage for them in the battle. Kiowa's retreating to refuel. Unfortunately, my Tunguska on the way back encounters an Apache. Does some pretty good damage here. I mean, look at that. It's all but killed it. It's only got one tiny piece of health left. So my ally decides to come in. Yeah, it's spinning all over the place. Motor stroking BTR should be able to finish it off if it doesn't retreat in time. I also bring in my other Tunguska to help out. So yes, it's shaken and it's flying all over the place like that. It's flying straight into them. It's not very smart. Well, that BTR's got a lot of experience. It probably didn't deserve for taking down that Apache, but there you go. What else? NATO seems to be swarming the woods. Probably think we still have stuff in there. They're also bringing in some artillery units to fire on the Conquerors. What else? I think that's pretty much a lull in the battle. Oh, they found another T-62 and destroyed it very quickly. So at this point my allies got some Strela 2 infantry dotted about the place. Not really a good choice because they're definitely using a large force of swarms of land-based units at this point. And let's see, so they're launching a fresh attack. So to defend, I've got a BTR, some Conquered infantry, Tunguska, and an Mi-24. So some Cobras are being brought in to finish off the artillery here. Juicy prize for NATO if they can get it. Of course, it is in the woods, so it's hard to get at. They have to fly pretty close to get it. So Gazelle cannons are coming in and going straight out again. This BTR's got a lot of veterancy. So those gunships are quickly knocked out. This Tunguska's now got 2 levels. Might be low on missiles, but it's not low on tally marks on its kill feed. Does that make sense? So some BTRs here. Always nice to have some BTRs in the woods when there's no use for them. And the Conquerors and the Mi-24 are firing on the advancing forces. Now this Conquerors team is full veterancy, so they are going to be a complete deadeye with their missiles. Not a single miss, likely. Of course, they're probably going to miss. Now that I said that. Yep, there you go. Some Rakuten Jagdpanzer.